Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for that. It always surprises me when people react to what I've done because I just get up every day and go to work. But thank you to Culture Shift for this award, to Andrea and Dave. I've known Dave a long time. I invested in this company some time ago, and by the way, NEA, I have an affiliation there too, because when we started NCHIP, NEA was one of investors. But thanks again. Thank you for honoring me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to accept this award in front of my loved ones and friends and family and several colleagues and former colleagues and leaders I trust, respect, and admire. As I was preparing for today, I started reflecting on my journey. When I moved to Silicon Valley in 1986 to work at Intel in the technology development group, I was the only black person in that unit. And it was about the same when I would go to seminars or conferences. I remember going to conferences in Santa Clara Convention Center and elsewhere, and I would be giving talks sometimes, and I'd look at the crowd, and I would be excited to see two other black people. And while we have made a lot of progress, there is still a lot of work to be done. And thinking about my journey has led me to reflect on how I came to receive the big opportunities that were afforded to me, and what we can do to create similar opportunities for the next generation of underrepresented minority leaders. When Michael Marks, the CEO of Flextronics, selected me back then as a 30-something-year-old black technologist to become that company's chief technology officer, that was a bold decision. I'm sure he didn't know it and I didn't know it, that decision resulted in me becoming the first black person to be the CTO of a publicly traded technology company. That was life-changing, career-altering, just to say the least, because back in those days, people like me did not get the opportunity to have titles or roles such as those. Unfortunately, that continues to be true today for many black people, women, and other underrepresented minorities. However, over the following decade, Michael entrusted me with the responsibility to build and lead the corporate technology group, in which we created some of the company's fastest growing business units as we grew that company from $150 million or so in revenue to $30 billion over a 12-year period. We built operations in over 30 countries, and we had almost 300,000 employees. As the CTO, I had the good fortune to lead teams that, alongside with our customers, co-developed some of the iconic products of our time. We developed the first Palm Pilot. We developed the first Microsoft Xbox. We developed one of the first phones successfully developed for the specific needs of emerging markets. And we sold the first phone we developed, targeted India. We sold 5 million units in the Indian market. I was fortunate to put together a team to work on miniaturizing the charger for the cell phones. Those of you who are old enough to know that the charger used to be about this size. And I decided one day that the charger should be no bigger than a plug. So we went about doing that and developed the first miniaturized power adapter that became the iPhone charger. We developed a tablet 3 years before the iPad. Michael made me scrap it because he was afraid our customers would get worried that we were competing against them. And that just highlights a few of our game-changing accomplishments. Now, when Michael was looking for a CTO, he could have easily done what everyone else in the industry did then, and to some extent still do today. And that is to hire, or more accurately, to recycle someone who previously held the title he was looking for. Instead, he decided to bet on potential and talent. And together we transformed the idea of what the CTO role could or should be, and that is to leverage technology to create new capabilities that would rapidly expand and transform our company. As a management team, we developed one of the largest and most respected global companies in the industry. We went from a relatively unknown small cap company to a Fortune 100 company in 12 years, and along the way we were named one of the best managed companies in America. But we did not just build a great business, we transformed our industry. And Michael and I started a business relationship and friendship that has now lasted almost 30 years. After Flex, we co-founded Riverwood Capital together, and now Celesta Capital, the venture firm we manage with our other partners, where we currently have more than 100 companies in our portfolio and $1.1 billion under management. So what is the lesson to be learned from this story? First of all, I believe that talent and intellect are equally distributed. You heard somebody else in a video say that earlier too. It is the opportunities that are not. Finding others with the kind of potential I had back then is not that difficult. My story is not the only such example. Today, minority talent with this kind of potential is all around us, often hiding in plain sight. But if we are to create more transformative leadership opportunities for Black people, women, and other underrepresented minorities, we must identify and value their potential as much, and if not more so, than we value their previous titles and experience. Underrepresented minorities often do not have an equal opportunity to be in the senior executive positions in corporate America. So we must therefore look beyond the single point of qualification when making critical decisions about hiring a senior executive or investing in an entrepreneur. Without equal access to opportunities and guidance, it is often more difficult for minority talent to develop the same levels of executive maturity or professional networks that would help us break through. And it therefore becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. As my story shows, breaking this cycle requires someone really knowing you, really seeing you, and taking the chance on your potential brilliance, which frankly is often quite easily unlocked when given a seat at the table. We must therefore be intentional about creating these opportunities and seeking out those signs of strong potential in minority talent. This would require us looking below the first impression surface of resumes or business plans, spending the time to really get to know the talent and truly understand the capabilities of people who are not currently represented, helping them to build out a network of support and cultivating a deeper pipeline of diverse leaders who can then pass along the same chance to the next set of qualified leaders. And there's a message there for all of us who are underrepresented minorities. When you get your break, you have to also look to give breaks to others. We must remember that if we look for who has done it, if we only look for who has done it, we will never see who can do it and perhaps even redefine it. I think I want to repeat that. If we only look for the people who have done it, we will miss the ones who can do it and redefine it. We will miss the opportunity to identify and find talented people who could become the architects of the next big thing. My request to everyone in this room is to make the extra effort to tap into pools of diverse talent and make this a priority for your business or your organization. We are out there in force, ready for these opportunities, ready to take your business to the next level in ways that have the ability to make history like Michael and I demonstrated. Making no mistake, doing this will create a competitive business advantage for you too. We must work together to create these opportunities. Before I leave this platform, however, I want to do something I've never done in public before. And since my friend Michael Marks is here, please allow me to say thank you to him. Thank you for taking the time to recognize my talent, the vision to see my potential, and for having the courage to not make the easy decision.